to protect the folks in the embassy. The first thing I thought of, I said, okay, well, where is the Iraqi government? I mean, this is a foreign embassy in their country, and they can't keep their own people away from it. So I thought that was very odd. And now today, the Iraqi parliament is scheduled to they're going to try to have a vote as soon as today to oust the U.S. military from Iraq. However, I don't think that even if that vote takes place, it'll probably never pass the Iraqi parliament because about half of the Iraqi people want us there. The other half want us gone. So you see all these protesters, you think, well, there they are. The Iraqis hate us. Well, some do and some don't. Or you could say the Iraqis love us. Well, some do and some don't because they are so divided in that part of the world. Not unlike us, but more so.
Yeah. It has gotten, since I traveled from 68 to 73, it has got much worse in most or all of the Muslim countries that I was in. Terrible.
Of all the Muslim countries that I read about, the ones that are the most prosperous, the ones that had the least amount of problems are Qatar and Bahrain. And do you know what the thing that makes Qatar and Bahrain different from other Muslim countries is the amount of freedom that they give their people. Yeah, there's still some things you can't do. They're both ruled by authoritarians, but I guess they're ruled by what you would call the benevolent dictator. In Bahrain, they don't care if you're gay. I mean, they kind of look the other way with that kind of stuff. They don't do that in many other Muslim countries. In fact, many of them,
no,
it's
they don't.
If you're homosexual in those countries, they kill you. But the countries that give the people the most freedom tend to be the ones that are the most prosperous, because when people are given their freedom, they don't have to worry about anything else.
Yes, that's correct. That's the whole thing. But talking about gay, in Turkey and Iran and even Afghanistan, and that they will kill you for being gay. But at the same time, you wouldn't believe the stuff you see right on the streets.
Like the fellow like the fellow who door number 1 was your girlfriend, door number 2 was the young French guy.
Correct. And the soldiers, you see them sitting around. One guy will be sitting on a little wall and have his legs spread, and the other guy in between him gyrating in between his legs and looking at people and laughing and stuff like that. You know,
really?
I mean, yeah, but they're not gay, and they have their little boys, you know, but they're not gay.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It's a different part of the world. It's a different culture.
Yeah. And then marrying these young girls. That's another crazy.
That's bizarre. Did you see that over in Iran too, or did you really not get that ensconced into the culture where you saw that?
Not really. You've seen some older men with young women, but you didn't know, you know, because a woman couldn't go out unless she had a man escort in a lot of places. And so you didn't know if it was their father, was it their brother, was it, you know, their husband?
Right.
You know, you don't really know.
Right. Got it. Well, Jerome, you've been a lot of places. You've seen a lot of things. We could probably talk for hours more. We've been over an hour now. I'd like to do this again. I'd like to, because you've got many adventures that I think you could share with the listeners. Would you be up to doing another one of these podcasts sometime in the future, another one of your adventures?
Yeah, I guess so. We'll see how this one turns out. If they throw rocks at you, maybe we won't.
No one's going to throw rocks. This is going to be well received. Trust me. But the folks are going to like this. One more question before we part. 2 more questions before we part. How did you get home? I mean, from 1968, once upon a time, with just a little bit of money, how did you get home?
I was in Singapore when I ran out of money, and I caught an American ship. I got a waiver from the Coast Guard, and I worked my way back to the United States. So
you left Iran and you wound up in Singapore.
Oh, It was Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Nepal, Ceylon, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Hong Kong, Japan, Korea. Let me think here. Thailand again. Hong Kong again. Came through the Ryukyu Islands, Okinawa, Ishigaki, Taiwan. Hong Kong again. Back to Thailand, up through Thailand, northern Thailand, into Laos. Hitchhiked through Laos during the war. Flew on a DC-3, old Army DC-3 out of Laos over to the Golden Triangle where all the opium was grown. Back into Thailand. All this was hitchhiking. Backpacking, hitchhiking for 5 years.
Did the gal stay with you for the whole 5 years?
Yeah, she would fly places, and I would come overland through the jungles, climb a mountain. I did over somewhere around 250, 300 miles trekking in the Himalaya mountains, through the jungles of Malaysia, and through Thailand. Borneo, went and lived and visited with the headhunters of Borneo. That was incredible. Took about 2 weeks or more to get back up into the jungle where they lived, and went fishing with them, hunting vegetables in the jungle. Didn't do no meat hunting, but hunt for food, and I just roamed around for 5 years. And then when I ran out of money in Singapore, like I said, I went to the American. Everybody told me you can't catch a ship no more. Of course, they told me everywhere I went that I couldn't do this or I couldn't do that, and I did what I wanted to do and got done. And anyhow, caught that ship and worked my way to Karachi. Got on the ship in Singapore, went to Karachi, offloaded fertilizer, handshake from the Gulf American people to the Pakistani people, back to Singapore, to the Philippines, 3/4 of a load of Dole pineapple from the island of Mindanao into Honolulu, Hawaii, topped off the pineapple through the Panama Canal into Newark, New Jersey. And I had $3,000 again, so I went to Canada, seen my friends, and went home, and then back to San Francisco.
Unbelievable! What an adventure, Jerome! What a fantastic adventure and a life well lived. I'd like to do this again. If you're up for a podcast in the future, I'd love to do it.
All right. Well, when you got time or whatever, give me a call and we'll see what happens.
Outstanding. I'm going to sign off the podcast, but stay on the line. I want to talk to you afterwards, if you could.
All right.
Well, that's it. We're done. Thanks for tuning in. JamesStrongShow@hotmail.com. That's how you get a hold of me. Send me your email address. Send that email address to JamesStrongShow@hotmail.com. I will take your email. I will put it onto the James Strong Show fan list. I will send that podcast to you upon publication, so you can download it and listen to it at your leisure. Spreaker.com is the host. You pick me up on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, etc., etc., etc. Many, many ways to get the podcast. That's it. We're done. Till next time, this is James Strong saying adios.